All right, here we go. We are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics. And I'm about to do a video that many people probably don't do, because if you look in the comic book community, most people will do their top 10 books, their top 20 books, their top 25 books, their top 50 books, etc., etc. But what I wanted to do today, and we're going to do a tag video with this. So I'm not going to tag anybody specifically, but if you want to do the video, consider yourself tagged. And if you make the tag video, just mention that I started the tag, and you can name 5 different people to do the tag video, and then we'll go from there. But what I'm going to do is, if you haven't had the chance to watch the video I did yesterday, I showed, in my opinion, what I thought were my top 30 comics. And what I'm going to show you today in this video is my top comics that did not make the cut. So this is 40 key comics that I have in my collection that did not make the top 30. So hopefully you'll understand what that means. I'm sure most of you and many of you do. So if you want to make a tag video with this, just basically don't show your top 10 or your top 20 or your top 25. If you've done those lists, whatever number you've picked, pick about between 10 up to 50 books that wouldn't make your top 10 or your top 25 or your top 50 and do a video on that. So if you've already made the top 10 or the top 25 or top 50 on your channel, do this video and then, like I said, tag 5 other people. But if you can mention that I started it, it would be greatly appreciated, because I need all the help I can get. So while I'm waiting for people to come in and join in the festivities and join the live chat, because I always do a surprise subscriber shout out at the end of the video, to get your chance to be in the surprise subscriber shout out, is all you have to do is be in the live chat. You don't even have to be a subscriber to my channel unless you want to be. So just have at least one conversation in the live chat, and I randomly pick 2 people at the end of the video. So there are some benefits to that, not major ones, especially on my channel, but hey, if you get one extra viewer, yeah, it's one more than you had the day before. So if you want to critique my AI art, I always love to hear people's opinions. So when this video uploads, if you would be so kind, either positively or negatively, tell me what you think about my AI art. And if it's negative, how about some constructive criticism as to what I could do better? So, with that being said, first thing I always do in every single video is I always give a shout out to my Patreon members. If you want to join my Patreon, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/we love comics. And if I can get up to 20 paid members, I'm going to have some giveaways. So we had a couple of people that just couldn't continue for whatever reason, and I am eternally grateful for anybody's help, because remember, your help not only helps me be able to get comics to continue to make these videos, but it helps support me and my wife taking care of between 20 and 25 stray cats twice a day, every day in our neighborhood. We've gotten them all fixed. We take them to the vets when they need to. We feed them, well, twice a day, every day. So any support actually helps them more than it even helps me. So if you look in the live chat, and let's say hello to Constipated in Sin City, welcome, and hopefully we'll get some more people once they see I am live. But I also posted a link to my mystery boxes, because I do sell comic book mystery boxes. And if you click on the link, it'll take you to a site where you'll see pyramids and necklaces and soaps and things like that. You're on the right site. All you have to do is scroll all the way down near the bottom, and you'll see the comic book section. I have anywhere from a $25 mystery box up to a $5,000 mystery box. And believe me when I say, when you're getting the higher mystery box levels, you're not getting generic garbage. You're going to get books that you're going to be very happy with. And I don't have, you can't choose what books, but if, for example, if you want all DC or you want all Marvel, I can accommodate you. So just mention at a time at ordering. And if you ever do a video on them and do an unboxing video, post the link in my most recent video and let me know about it, and I will help promote your channel, maybe get a couple of views and maybe a couple of subscribers. So check that out on the website that I put. It's also in the link of this and any video description that I do. So join patreon.com/we love comics and get your name up on the board. So Sith, Michael B, James R, Dan L, Herbert R, Annabelle N, Jason B, Scott, If you have Instagram, check out Scott at ScottWU077. And then last but not least, if you have Instagram, check out Silver Age Surfer _comics. Tell them that We Love Comics sent you. Now, you notice the first seven are just people's names, and the last two are Instagram recommendations. When somebody joins my Patreon, it says their name. So I always put their first and either just leave it at the first name or I'll do their last initial. I won't put somebody's personal full name out there on the internet. But if you want me to shout out your YouTube channel instead, or maybe an eBay store, or like they did in Instagram, I have no problem promoting that. Just contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com and I'll do that for you. Trying to get some trades going. I've been trying it for about a year or so. I'm going to keep doing it until I at least get one, and I'm going to continue to do it because it is beneficial to both parties. So if you have one of these books or know somebody that has one of these books, maybe you have an extra one, or maybe you're tired of a book because you've had it for 30 years and you want to try and get other books. Any of my comics, even ones you'll see in this list today, are up for grabs potentially for a trade. And as long as the trade is fair, I don't mind trading 20 or 30 key books to get one of these. Again, as long as it's a fair trade. It saves both parties thousands of dollars. It saves you literally hundreds of dollars in taxes. And at the end of the year, you don't have to report any trades. So you can actually just imagine if you bought, let's say, $50,000 comic. Just imagine the taxes you're going to have to pay on that, first of all, just by eBay or if you bought it at a comic book store. And then imagine at the end of the year when you have your income, let's say you sell that book for 50,000, you have to pay taxes. Well, on trades, you don't have to worry about paying taxes. So it's a great way for two people to actually, legally get around the system and not have to have somebody else have your money. So make a trade happen. Contact me, peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. And I want to give a shout out to one of my Patreon members, Kim. I got your envelope and your note the other day, and what was inside was really nice. Wrote a little nice message for me and everything. Amazing, Kim. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Just wanted to let you know I did receive it. So, without further ado, let's start showing the comics. So, if you want to hit the thumbs up, that's great. If not, perfectly fine. You can hit the thumbs down if you want. Phil is here, says hi. Constipated in Sin City says, I'm cleaning up my house and I found two of your $100 boxes. I haven't opened one. Wow. I was quite pleased for my one opened. Oh, there you go. If you do a video, please make a video about it. Let me know and I'll help promote it. And as a matter of fact, if anybody goes onto YouTube and types in "We Love Comics Mystery Box," there are a couple of people who bought from me, and some of them bought, like, for example, the diamond packages, which is I think around $1,500. And they did unboxings, and every person that gets the unboxing say they're very happy with what they get. I mean, I'm not trying to cheat people. And a lot of the books that people got, you'll see over the years, actually increased in value. So I'm not trying to give away garbage. Now, for example, if you're buying the lowest one, each package has 20 comics in it. So if you bought the $25 package, you're getting 20 generic comics. But I mentioned that. So there's no surprise. You're not going to get an Amazing Fantasy 15 in a $25 package. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just not going to happen, especially since I don't own one. But the higher the package, the better the comic. So that's nice. That's interesting that you lost them, but you found one and you opened it. If you do a video for the other one, please let me know. And there's testimonial right there. Constipated in Sin City bought two of my $100 boxes, and the one he opened so far was quite pleased. So glad to hear that. Punisher XS says, hi, everybody. Constipated in Sin City says it was from when you were still in New York. Wow, you're worse than me when it comes to some of the stuff that I have here that I haven't unboxed. Well, actually, I can't say that because some of these I've probably had probably for 10 years and haven't opened them. So you're a second to me with that. But hey, I'm glad you found them and I'm glad you're happy. And let me know if you ever do the other one because I want people to be happy when they purchase from me. I've seen so many people that sell mystery boxes and they're just getting rid of garbage. I mean, like I said, if you're getting a $20 mystery box, you're not getting Fantastic 448. But I say, if you're buying the generic ones, you're going to get like readable comics and generic comics. But when you get the higher levels and stuff, and even mid-range, like he said with the $100 one, you're still going to get good comics. I'm going to make sure you're happy when you purchase from me. And That's all I can say about that. And if you know what movie that's from, put that in the live chat or in the comment section. And we got to get our comment section going up because I've only gotten, like my last video, I only got like 4 comments. I want you guys to do me the favor personally. If you enjoy what I do, once this video uploads, please find the time and leave a comment, even if it's a negative one. If you want to say I look stupid with my beard or something, by all means, leave a comment. Let's get the conversations going. So let's start showing the comics. So these are 40 books that are key books, and many of them you'll see are very key, but did not make my top 30 cut that I did yesterday. So if you haven't seen that video, go check that out. And there won't be, like, for example, I have multiple copies of Hulk 181. So anything that I showed in the top 30, I won't be putting in this video. So there won't be like 5 of my Hulk 181s and things like that. So if you've seen one of the comics in the first top 30 video, you will not see a lower grade version of it here. Because I have, for example, a Fantastic Four #1, a 0.5 coverless. That's not going to be in these top 40. So they're all new books that you haven't seen from the first one. So that being said, I will mention the price if I did not take off the sticker. A lot of these over the years I tried to sell during auctions, and I always put the price on the back of the book. But a couple of times I forgot to put them back. So if it doesn't have the price, I can't tell you unless I remember. So this one I do know I don't have the price on it, but I remember buying this for $1,000 back. It was one of the first books when I started back into comic collecting again in 2016. This was before I even was inspired to do my We Love Comics channel. I bought this book. So this is number 40. So that is Civil War, issue #1. This is the Mike Turner variant. It is a 9.9. It is witnessed signed by Mike Turner and Steve. I can't even read anymore. Steve McNiven. My eyes are going, and this font is so small, unfortunately. That's what happens when you get old. So this is a 9.9 with white pages, signed by the late, great Michael Turner. There's a signature. And also Steve McNiven. So 9.9. Definitely happy about that book. It has gone down since the movie, but hey, you can't win them all. And Constipated City, good answer with that one. All right, so next up, we got number 39. This is a book I got for a steal. I keep telling people deals are always out there. Stop listening to all of these people in the comic book community trying to tell you that the comic crash is coming. They've been saying it since I had my channel since 2016. Eventually people get right if you keep regurgitating the same thing over and over again. But even if that's the case, does not mean you cannot make deals. This is Ghost Rider #1. You saw one I did the other day that I just bought. But this one was graded at an 8.0. I actually thought it would be higher. But this, of course, is not the first appearance of Johnny Blaze or anything like that, but it is the first cameo of Damian Storm. But it is Ghost Rider's first series of his own title. And that's, of course, is Johnny Blaze. We're not talking about the 60s version of when Ghost Rider was a cowboy. But this is arguably the most popular version of Ghost Rider. And I got this in 8.0. Now, this book is worth at an 8.0, probably, I would estimate, at least $500, if not more. If anybody wants to look it up and put it in the comment section or put it in the live chat, you're more than welcome to. I only bought this like 2 years ago, maybe 1 year ago. I would say at least 2 years ago. I paid $78 for that book. Deals are out there. Now, of course, I bought this raw, got it pressed and dry cleaned, and it came back in 8.0, but I knew it was a high grade, and somebody had that for a buy it now. So with after taxes, I don't know if they were taxes at the time, but with shipping under $80 for that book, good luck trying to find a 0.5 under 80. All right, next up, number 38. I had several copies of these, but I actually put some in people's mystery boxes. I sold some during auctions. It's my only copy left. As a matter of fact, I thought I sold all my copies, and then when we had that hurricane and we were evacuating, I was trying to collect the most expensive comics and most valuable comics I had because I couldn't bring everything, unfortunately. And luckily, nothing got destroyed. But when I was going through the graded comics, I saw this one. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know I still had one. This, of course, is Tales of Suspense, number 52. First appearance of Black Widow. Um, Majority of these, unless I tell otherwise, I bought raw and then got them graded. So 3.0, it is off-white to white pages. First appearance of Black Widow. Absolutely love this cover. I love all the different colors in it. I paid $254 for that book. Next up, somebody ironically mentioned this in the comments in the live chat yesterday for my top 30 video. And again, if you haven't seen it, check it out. And leave a comment if you get the chance. But I showed Journey into Mystery 85, and then I showed Journey into Mystery 83, and somebody said, oh, well, you should, all you have to do now is get Journey into Mystery 84. Well, lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, back in around 2017, I bought Journey into Mystery number 84. Now, this is the old label. I probably at some point will crack this open and get it regraded, get it pressed and dry cleaned. I bought this way. It's a PGX 3.5. Back of the book looks really nice. Now, there's no cracks or anything. It's just I got to replace the plastic because sometimes, when you put too many of them in one box, it can actually rip these. So it hasn't destroyed the case or anything. But this is actually the first appearance of Jane Foster, who becomes Lady Thor, that wonderful version of Thor that everybody loves so much in the movie theaters. But I don't remember what I paid for it, but I think I paid under $300 for this book. It actually looks like it should be about a 3.5, maybe a 4 with pressing. But I think at some point I might actually get this one, crack it open and get it at least with the new label. But I was actually able to acquire that book, so there it is. So I have 83, 84, and 85. All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 books down. Next up, this is a book I bought this year. Bought it raw. Got it graded. So this is X-Men 266, which is quote unquote the first appearance of Gambit, but at least on the cover, because, it's controversial with the annual saying that it's a cameo when it's really not. But for the longest time, society has basically, in the comic book community, has dictated this is his first appearance. You can argue and say the annual is his actual first appearance. I would tend to agree, but this is the one everybody wants because, of course, he is on the label. And I'm sure somebody will look at this and say, well, X-Men 266, not rare because it is not a newsstand or a Mark Julis variant. They're like, what's the big deal about an 8.0? I'm glad you asked that because this book was signed by Andy Kubert, Joe Rubinstein, Tom DeFalco, Chris Claremont, and the late, great Stan Lee. So this has 5 signatures, including, where is it? Stan Lee's. So this is a very rare book. Good luck trying to find a book like this, especially with Stan Lee's signature. I tried to work a deal with the person. I think they originally wanted like $700-800 for this book. I got them down after shipping and handling to $431. So I think we agreed at 400, and with shipping and handling and taxes came out to 431. To me, that was a no-brainer for that book. Love Gambit. I remember buying 2 of those raw the day they came out. I don't know if I still have them or not, but definitely a great book to get. This is another one that I got as a steal, and I have multiple copies, but not one like this. This is basically a one of a kind. This is number 35, which is Spider-Gwen number 1. This is the 1 in 100 variant. I bought this raw because the person said they pretty much guaranteed without guaranteeing it that it would be a 9/8, and that's what it ended up being. But you'll see there's a lot of signatures, and there's some remarks. Now, they would call them remarks because remarks are basically smaller versions of an artist's sketch. So if they do something like right here, so there's 2 different remarks, and then this is a bigger one, but that would still be considered a remark. But this was signed by Dan Slott, Robbie Rodriguez, Jason Latour, and signed and remarked by Adam Hughes. So that bigger one was Adam Hughes and Rico Renzi. So Rico Renzi signed and did a remark. Adam Hughes signed, did a remark. It's got Stan Lee's signature as well. I forgot to mention. So it's got 6 signatures as a 9.8. What I paid for this with all those signatures, you couldn't even get raw. I paid $363.50. I bought this, I think, in 2019, maybe 2018, and people were not buying this book at that point because the price did go down from a year or two after it first came out, and I was snatching these up. I have like 2 or 3 more of these at 9.8s. I think one of them has maybe 1 or 2 signatures, and the other one's just a 9.8. But I mean, for me, that's a no-brainer with that one. It's a one-of-a-kind book that no one else can say they can have because, you have Stan Lee, who's deceased. You got 2 remarks from very famous artists. To me, just no-brainer to have stuff like this. All right, let's get some Golden Age. We got some Golden Age Batman. This is Batman number 28. I bought this raw back in about 2017. Mid-grade 5.0, which is not bad for a book from 1945. And if you watch the video I did yesterday, I talk about all the time that almost every single Batman Golden Age book I bought has a Joker appearance. And this one has no exception because it has a Joker appearance. Other than that, there's not anything majorly significant. But I love buying books that are this old for Golden Age heroes like Batman and Superman. So this has a gorgeous red cover. I think the only reason it even got a 5 is that it's missing a little bit of the corner here. But I paid $310 for this book. And even the back, for a book that old, I mean, you're talking about in another 20 years, it's going to be a 100-year-old book, which is amazing if you think about it. But the colors on this, I mean, look how red they are. Look how yellow. I actually was surprised it only got a 5.0, but hey, I'm not going to complain. For a book that far back to get a 5.0, as they say, I'll take it. Next up, I have several copies of this. This is the highest grade version. I do not have the price of what I paid for it, but I definitely know I paid a lot less than what it's worth. We got Tomb of Dracula number 10, first appearance of Blade, which, by the way, is the first real rated R comic book movie. People always kept saying, things like Deadpool, but no. Blade was the first rated R comic book movie. I actually, because I stopped collecting comics for a long time after the 90s crash, and did not even think about another comic until 2016 when I rekindled the comic fire in me. I never even knew, because I liked the Blade movies with Wesley Snipes, but I never knew that was based on a comic book character until years later. Higher grade, 6.0 with white pages. Definitely a book to add to your collection if you don't have it, and especially since he was in the Wolverine and Deadpool movie. I mean, that was a great cameo. The way they really did him justice, and I'm very happy about that. I have a feeling we won't see the last of him, and I hope that's true. I would love to see Wesley Snipes do another Blade movie, and then maybe pass the torch on to somebody younger. We'll see. All right, next up. This book, I know I only paid about $300 for. I don't have the price on it because it's another one I tried to sell in an auction at one point. But this, of course, is Aquaman number 1. So it's not his first appearance or anything like that, but it's his first story with his own title. Nice grade on this one, a 6.0. First appearance. That's not anybody that's of Quisp. I'm not sure if that's a significant person. I'm not really a major DC fan. So if you're a major DC fan, let me know. Is Quisp, because I know that character does have some kind of significance, but is he a big deal to DC fans? But this has off-white to white pages, which isn't a bad for a book from 1962. Great looking cover, presents very well. And as you can see, I do like my older DC comics. All right, I believe this is number 32. I'm sure if I screwed it up, I'll know near the end. It's another book I bought raw. I don't have the price, but I know I paid around 75 to $80 for this book. I bought it raw. Could not believe that somebody was selling it so cheap because it was such a high grade. We have, of course, Amazing Spider-Man number 46, first appearance of the Shocker, just to show you how nice this book is. For a book from 1967, I mean, look how white the back is, and that's hard, especially with an older book. How many people held this book in their hands? But this book is beautiful. I actually thought it would be a higher grade than what it got, but I'm not going to complain because it's a 9.0. So to have the first appearance of the Shocker, which would probably be either a B or C tiered Spider-Man villain, but definitely well known. He is in the Sinister Six at a 9.0 with white pages. And like I said, I paid roughly around 70 to $80 on that book. I got that for a steal. And I only bought that maybe, like I said, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So deals are always out there if you want to find them. This is one, speaking of which, I got these all when I was living in New York. So around 2018, 2019, I was getting several copies of these, like almost like within a month period, that were like 4 times less than what they were worth. I mean, I was just finding people just posting these for ridiculous prices, and I just snapped them up. And I sold the rest of them either in auctions or I know when I was moving to Florida, I had to sell a bunch of books and people were buying mystery boxes. And I put a couple of these in the higher mystery boxes. But this, of course, is Amazing Spider-Man number 50. Iconic cover, but of course, it's the first appearance of the Kingpin. Absolutely love this cover. They're not done with Kingpin yet in the MCU. 4.5, so decent grade. Off-white to white pages, has small pieces of tape on the front cover, but that's not restoration. Paid a grand total of only $140 for that book. And that was one of the more expensive ones. I remember picking one up for like 50 bucks. I couldn't believe that somebody was selling it for that price. But hey, I can never feel bad for people that have the ability to do research and choose not to. All right, next up, number what I believe 30. I have several copies of this, so I'm just going to show the highest graded one. This is one I bought already graded by CGC at the time I bought it. So this was again probably around 2019. And this, of course, is Fantastic Four number 49 at a 5.0. It is the first full appearance of Galactus, second appearance of Silver Surfer, first time they are on the cover. Arguably, between 48 and 49, most people would argue that this is a better cover, at least as far as the design and the colors. But, each person's going to have different viewpoints when it comes to, covers and what they like. But I would agree that 49 is a better cover than 48, even though 48 is going to be more valuable because of the first appearances. But again, respectable mid-grade book. This was a book when right after the Fox Fantastic Four movie bombed, and rightfully so, it should have, everybody was staying away from Fantastic Four books. And I was telling people, buy them up. If you go back to my early videos, I was telling people about this years before everybody else because I knew that Disney was going to end up buying Fox. And I ended up being right. But of course, I don't get credit for anything that I've talked about from the comic book community. But while everybody else was selling them and giving these away, I was buying them up like there was no tomorrow. Even after I gave a bunch away in some of the mystery boxes and sold some from my auctions, I still have at least 5 copies left. I paid $133.59 for this book, graded. I mean, these are no-brainers for me. But most people, they base their purchases or they base their sales on emotion. And that's not how you're supposed to do it when it comes to speculation and investing. It's buy low and sell high. So when the prices were scooting down, That's not the time to panic. That's the time to be buying up. So right now, so many comic book community members put out their clickbait videos to try and scare people and get people to view their channel, which works, unfortunately, trying to tell you that the comic book community is going to crash. That should be a good thing. But I remember back in 2020, 2021, how many people were complaining, oh, the prices are so expensive now, and it's ruining the hobby because people can't buy the books. And now the price is going down. And what do you hear? Oh, it's ruining the comic book community because now all the value of my books are going down. Well, which is it? Is it you hated the high prices because you couldn't buy the books? Or you hated the lower prices because it's ruining the value of your books? See how they contradict each other? When they're high, you sell them. When they're low, you buy them. When Fox ruined the Fantastic Four with their garbage DEI inclusive nonsense, and it basically destroyed Fox, which ultimately Disney bought, everybody was getting rid of them. I was buying them up. Who do you think made out the better of the deal? The people that sold them and gave them away, or the people that bought them not dirt cheap, but pretty darn cheap? I mean, I have several copies of Fantastic 449. I bought between $50 and $70. And they're not like coverless pages. They're like between 3.5 and 5.5 copies. But people don't listen to me because I'm controversial. Well, that's all right. All right, number 28. Again, this is another book I was telling people to get for years. Said it's the same thing to do with the Fox studio, not, ended up being sold and people were getting rid of these books. That's when I'm buying them. I bought this raw. I do have the price for it. Several copies of this book. Again, even though I've sold a bunch of them in my auctions and gave away, or I can't say gave away, but included in the mystery boxes, which, like I said, I've posted in the link. It's in the live chat and the description. This, of course, is X-Men 94. Not the first appearance of the new X-Men. It's actually the second appearance. But it's when the new X-Men start the X-Men series. Because remember, from 93 down to around the mid-70s, I don't know the exact number, they were reprints and they were actually going to discontinue it. But then Chris Claremont came along and revitalized and created new heroes, which is, of course, Giant Size X-Men #1. And it just skyrocketed from there. This is an 8.0. I bought this raw, and again, I saw the book, and I'm like, this is a great looking book. Off-white to white pages. I paid $225 for this book. And this book is still worth it to buy today because the X-Men haven't even come into the MCU yet. I mean, I was so ahead of the curve. All you have to do is look at the videos that I still have on this channel back in 2017, 2018, telling people to buy these books years before anybody else did. That's why so many people say, how come you don't do videos recommending comics anymore? It's because I did it 8 years ago, 7 years ago. I can only say the same thing so many times before I'm just making videos just to make videos. And I had no need to say them anymore. But they're still there. People are still recommending them today. I was recommending them back in 2018. But, like I said, the comic book community will never give me credit for things. But you guys will, and that's why you're here, and that's why I'm glad you're here. Number, I believe, 27. Absolutely love Fantastic Four. I have Fantastic Four #1, almost all 10. I did in my auction, and they're paying it off with a payment plan. I did sell Fantastic Four #2, which is my only copy. I'm sad to see it go, but sometimes you gotta sell good stuff if you need to get bills paid. But Fantastic Four #3. Again, I bought this raw. This is the first appearance of the Fantastic Four car, and the first time they don their Fantastic Four costumes that they are famous for. Because the first 2 issues, they did not have costumes. Now, it's a low grade, but say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. What is my slogan? Put it in the comment section if you're watching this later, and put it in live if you know what my slogan is. 1.8, but as they say, low grade is better than no grade. Off-white to white pages. So first appearance of the Miracle Man and the Fantastic Car. Fantastic Four dons headquarters and establishes their headquarters. It's a Jack Kirby cover. Love Jack Kirby. Stanley story. I paid $179. That is after taxes, after shipping, and after grading fees. I paid $179 total for Fantastic Four #3, which, by the way, is just about to start getting ready to come out. I believe next year, or I think it's 2025 when the Fantastic Four movie's coming out. Don't agree with the picks. Some of the picks they picked, especially for Mr. Fantastic. I'm really disappointed that they didn't use the guy that was who everybody pretty much wanted, that they used in the Doctor Strange movie. I forget his name. John Lewinsky or something. Correct me, I'm sure, because my subscribers are smarter than I am. John Krasinski, that's his name. From The Office. I would have loved to have seen him, but I think because they ruined his cameo by doing such a dumb death scene in the Doctor Strange movie, they were probably scared to put him back out. People would have still loved him. You know, not the character that was bad. It was not the actor that was bad. It was the writing that was bad. But, if you like the person that's there for the movie playing Mr. Fantastic, great. I don't like it. He's just portrayed, especially when they showed the first image of them, portrayed way too feminine. Don't like it. As they say, to each their own. But we'll see. But Fantastic Four doesn't need a movie to be popular, but it can help if done right. All right, next up, another low grade book. Do you have the price on it? You will never be able to find this for the prices I got. And again, I didn't buy these back in the 60s or 70s or 80s or even 90s or even early 2000s. I bought this book around 2019, 2018. Amazing Spider-Man #4, first appearance of the Sandman. I don't remember if this was I think this was actually an auction, but as you could see, low grade is better than no grade. It's a 1.8, but it is the first appearance of Sandman. The centerfold is detached, but still there, and a coupon ripped off back cover. So it's not technically, you could see somebody didn't clip it out. There's a big rip, but it's there. I guess there was a coupon there at some point, but it wasn't cut out because you can see it could be just that it was torn and there just happened to be a coupon there. So it's not like an even square that somebody cut out a coupon. So that wouldn't be considered um, a green label or anything because it's ripped. And, pages do rip. You've seen many people have ripped pages and missing pieces. That just happened to have a coupon there. It doesn't look like somebody cut it out. But still, off-white to white pages. I paid a grand total, and again, bought it raw. So after shipping and handling, taxes, and grading fees, I paid only $154 for a low grade Amazing Spider-Man #4. Deals are always out there. All right, I believe this is number 25. Another book I bought raw, definitely could be improved. It was improved with the pressing, but it had some water stains where there's some wrinkles. Couldn't get them all out, but it definitely improved it a little bit. This, of course, for the DC fans, Green Lantern #1. This is Hal Jordan's first comic book with his own title. It is not his first appearance. That goes to showcase number, I believe, 23, I believe, which I have, but somebody won it in an auction and they're doing the payment plans. But this is the next best thing, especially if you are a DC fan or a Green Lantern fan. Only copy I believe I have. It's a 4.0. Again, bought it raw. Off-white pages. I paid $405 for this book. Not a bad book. I love me some old, especially the older DC books. All right, next up, another DC. So you could see I am not just a Marvel fan, although I primarily love Marvel more than DC. I don't hate DC. Another DC book. This is Flash #106, which is the first appearance of the Pied Piper. Let's see. Origin and first appearance. Oh, and also Gorilla Grodd. So it's Gorilla Grodd and the Pied Piper, off-white to white pages at a 4.0. I do not have the price that I paid for it, but I think it was around $140 for this book because I always get them. If they're not cheaper than what they're worth, I don't buy them. The only time I would buy something at its current value would be an Amazing Fantasy 15 if I had the money. Other than that, there's so many copies of every book out there, unless it's a one-of-a-kind book, I'll just sit back and wait for another version of the book to come out. So if it's not a bargain, I'm not going to buy it. Again, unless it's one that you don't see very often. All right, if you watched my unboxing video the other day, and according to the numbers, many of you haven't, um, this is one of 3 copies I have. This is my highest grade of this book. Definitely one to acquire if you can get it. This is Amazing Spider-Man, annual number 1. I don't have the price, but I know I paid about $139 for this book. Got it graded, came back a 3.0. So lower grade, but low grade is better than no grade. Off-white to white pages. Origin of Spider-Man retold, but it is, of course, the first appearance of the Sinister Six, which is Dr. Octopus, Kraven, Electro, Mysterio, Sandman, and the Vulture. So actually, Shocker was not in the original Sinister Six, so forgive me. Just shows I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm sure there will be people that'll kill me for that. That's all right. Number 22. So again, these are all the books that did not make the cut from my top 30. So if you haven't seen that video yet, I posted it yesterday. Go watch it so you can see the ones that did make the cut. All right, so this is, I believe, number 22. This one, I actually, and I'm very proud of this, I was responsible for the change of what this, the significance of this book, because I actually wrote in to several different companies about this because I did research on it. And this, of course, this is Action Comics issue number 27. Now, originally, everybody said that Action Comics 28 was the first ever current cover appearance of Lois Lane. But I actually opened up this book and saw this exact girl in the exact dress being called Lois Lane. It ends up that this is actually the first ever cover appearance of Lois Lane, not issue 28. So it actually does state first Lois Lane cover. And that's because I actually did research and I actually contacted a bunch of companies. And it ended up, I was right. Now, this is a low grade book because it does have some staining on the back. Pretty bad staining. I don't know what the person did that owned this. There's a rip and that was taped. And that's why it got a 1.8. But it is complete. It is all together. And tape is not considered restoration. Tan to off-white pages. I only paid $188 for this book. So this is the first ever Lois Lane cover. And again, this is why I tell people, do your research. Make sure you know what you're doing, because before I actually contacted the companies and they actually changed it, they were saying Action Comics 28 was their first cover. They were incorrect. Sometimes you can change things if you put the effort in. All right, number 21. Again, another older Batman Golden Age book. This is Batman issue number 19. Some of these don't even have to have significance to them. I just love having older Batman books. But this Raw came back at 2.5. The staples were replaced. I did not know that when I bought it. But this is actually the, it does have a Joker appearance. Like I said, every single Batman book that I bought has a Joker appearance in it. But it is the first art of Dick Sprang. First cover art. So this is a very valuable book, not because of the significance inside the book, but this is the first Dick Sprang art, who was a very famous Batman artist. 2.5. Staples were replaced. I mean, I could actually take this out and just remove the staples if I wanted to. But I paid only $138 for this book. And again, I didn't buy this back in the 80s or anything. I bought this around 2019-ish, 2020. So under $200 for under, you know, the 20th issue of Batman. To me, these are just no-brainers. And I'm so glad many people wouldn't buy those books because it just means I don't have to overpay. I believe we're in the top 20 at this point. So this is issue number 20. This is a book I bought raw. Got a great deal on it because I remember this person wanted like about $1,000 to $1,200 for this book. I talked them down, got it down to 768. So you'll think, oh, all right, it's Edge of Spider-Verse, number 2, first appearance of Gwen Stacy, first print. It is a 9.8, and it is also signed and remarked. So you could see the remark and 2 signatures. So it is, actually, I'm sorry. There are 3 signatures, and there's the important one, Stan Lee. So it is signed by Stan Lee and Robin Rodriguez and Jason Latour, but Jason Latour also did a remark. So you got a 9.8 first appearance of Ghost Spider, aka Spider-Gwen, with a remark and signature by Jason Latour, a signature by Robbie Rodriguez, and the late great Stan Lee in a 9.8. Constipated in Sin City says Incredible Hulk 180 or 181. Who's the first issue? I'm assuming you're talking about Wolverine. Well, obviously 180 is the first appearance of Wolverine, just in a cameo. He's in the last panel of the last page. But, without 180, you can't have 181. All right, next up, issue 19. Well, book number 19. This is a book I have been telling people to buy since 2017. Many people ignored me. The few that did believe in me on it are doing quite well with these. This was a bagged issue, and a lot of them got lower grades. As a matter of fact, I bought like 15 of them. At least. This is the only one that came back a 9.8. All the others were ranging between a 9.0 and a 9.6. Because unfortunately, with the bagged issue, it would create a line. And sometimes the corners or the sides here, the edges, would get scruffed due to rotating around in the bag, because it's not like the bag was completely engulfing the comic book. It had leeway to move around. So a lot of, especially corners, would get dent. But this is the only one of them that I had. And I had, like I said, between 15, at least 15 copies of this book. I actually, at one point, had so many of them, I gave one away to one of my subscribers. They were talking about how they wanted their kid to grow up and collect comics. So I sent them a couple of books, including a first print bagged issue of this comic. That's how many of them I had. And I was actually at my flea market. I had mystery bags where you could find one of these. No one found it. But in the end, I'm glad they didn't, because that book has risen so much. I mean, this book still has so much potential. There'll be many people saying, oh, well, the price is going down, so stay away from it. What do you think's going to happen when Miles Morales finally gets his debut in the MCU? It's going to happen. Do you think this book is A, going to stay the same, B, going to go down in price, or C, increase in price? But again, it's when you buy it. I was buying these when nobody cared. I was paying between $12 and $17 for every one of these copies. This one is no exception. So, of course, Ultimate Fallout 4, you could tell it's a first print because the face is hidden. 9.8 with white pages. After shipping, after grading fees, I paid $17 for this book. No brainer, in my opinion. Number 18. Another book I was telling people to buy back in 2018. I was telling people, because of the whole Fox situation, buy these books up. Many people didn't listen. That's all right. That means people that listened and myself will take advantage of it. I got this for what I considered basically, I can't say steal, but a bargain. Fantastic Four number 48. You can't show like your top comics without, if you're going to show one, you have to have the other, and that's 48 and 49. Many people will say you have to have issue 50 for the trifecta, and I basically say why. The most important thing about issue 50 is basically that Johnny Storm goes to college. but obviously Silver Surfer and the Galactus are still in it at that point. And I think there's one other reason, but to me, I mean, I have issue 50, but these two are the most important. 5.0 mid-grade. This I actually bought as a CGC 5.0, but it looked like it could be improved with the pressing and dry cleaning, so I took the chance. And it came back the same grade. I don't regret taking the chance on things. A couple of times I've actually won. Only one time did a book go down. I had a giant size X-Men #1 that was a 6.5. I got it, I cracked it open and got it pressed and dry cleaned and came back as 6.0. That's the only time it ever went down. And hey, I'm still not going to complain because I think I paid maybe $100 for that book at the time. So even at a 6.0, I'm still making a killing on it. But this one stayed the same, perfectly fine. This, of course, is the first appearance of Silver Surfer and the first cameo appearance of Galactus. We now have it confirmation that Galactus is going to be is in the Fantastic Four movie. So people are going to start demanding this more. It's definitely a key book. I paid $454.95 for this book, mid grade. Very happy with that. Have several copies of that book. Next up, I bought this book either before I started my We Love Comics channel or right in the beginning. I don't remember. I don't know the exact price. It's either I paid $125 or $150 for this book. This is one that so many people say you should be getting. This, of course, is Amazing Spider-Man number 252. It does have white pages. This, of course, it's tied with, what's the name of, I think it's Marvel Team Up 114. It's got the Amazing Fantasy cover swipe. Marvel Team Up 141. So it's not 114, it's 141. I knew it was in those numbers. First appearance of the black costume, CGC 9.8. I bought this graded. So I bought, like I said, about 2016 or 2017, I bought this book. I paid either $125 or $150 for this book in a CGC 9.8 with white pages. I think I did a good deal back then because I base things on my purchases of not where they are, not where they've been, but where I think they're going to go. So for me to buy that 9.8 with white pages back in 2016, 2017, I knew it was just a matter of time before that book would continue to go up in price. And even if I paid the higher end of the 150, still doing pretty darn good on that book. Number 15. This is one of those books that I got graded that blew me away when I saw the grade. When I bought this book, I knew it was a beautiful copy. And I bought it raw, and it's gone down in price, but even still, because of what I paid for it, I could still triple my money instead of maybe quadrupling at this point, but you never know, it might go back up again. I bought this raw, and when it came back, even Daniel Patterson, the owner of PGX, did not tell me what the grade was, but I remember having a conversation with him, and it was the month that this book was being graded. I don't remember what we were talking about, but he never tells me grades because I don't want to know. But he did say that you're going to be very happy with one of the comics when it comes back. He didn't say anything more than that. And he was right, because when I opened this and I saw the grade, I knew it was a high grade, but especially with a book that's from 1980, I would not assume the high grade it got. So this, of course, is Star Wars number 42, first appearance of Boba Fett in comic book form. Iconic cover. Star Wars is nowhere near what it used to be, unfortunately, and that's why this book is not valued as much as it did. The Boba Fett TV show, tried to watch it. It was just sad, unfortunately, what they did to this character. They really turned him into a kind of a wimp, but still iconic character. This came back, I bought it raw, came back a 9.8 off-white to white pages. I mean, this book is beautiful. I was saying it would be a 9.0 to a 9.4 only because I couldn't find any flaws with it, but there was no way I was going to assume this was a 9.8. Paid $215. I mean, look at the back of this book with all that white, not one stain. Everything is perfect in this book. And they did an incredible job with the pressing. I mean, look how sharp the corners are. It's hard to see sometimes with the reflection. And then you have so much black, and there is not one tick at all on this book. This book has definitely gone down significantly in price, but because I bought it with as a steal, basically, you don't think I could easily double or triple my money? I paid $215 for that book. Deals are always out there. You just gotta put in the effort. You gotta put in the time. You gotta know what you're doing. All right, let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so this is number 15. Another book I bought years ago, raw. I do have what I paid for it. A book that people to this day are recommending to get. This is a book I bought in 2016, 2017. Secret Wars number 8. It has white pages. This, of course, is the origin of the black symbiote, which eventually becomes Venom. 9.8, signed by Michael Zeck. Absolutely love his signature. It's one of the very few that is very legitimately easy to spot. I actually got him to sign like 2 books from me back in the 90s. Very nice guy. But his handwriting is amazing. Like so many people when they sign books, like somebody like Robert Kirkman, it's literally chicken scratch. His is very readable. He definitely puts the effort into his signature. But this, of course, is a must own in any modern collection. 9.8 witnessed. I paid $149. I bought this already graded from eBay, again, back in 2016, 2017. So I spent $1 under $150 for this book. This book at a 9.8 unsigned goes for around $550 to $600. Signed, this is about a $700 book. All right. Number 14. So I definitely screwed up the numbers somewhere. All right, we got some more Golden Age goodness. We got ourselves Batman issue number 9. Absolutely love this cover. It is a 2.0. It is restored. The staples were removed. This basically came from, you ever see somebody that had a binder of old comics? So it was trimmed on the edge because somebody had a binder of all of the first couple of Batman comics. Luckily, this doesn't have holes punched in it, but this was in a binder, and to fit in the binder, they had to trim it. It does have a Joker appearance. I wasn't kidding when I said every Batman comic in the Golden Age that I ever bought, every single one of them has a Joker appearance. I don't think there's any other significance other than a Joker appearance, but still, Batman number 9. It's a 2.0. This is a CBCS book, off-white to white pages. For a book from 1942 to have off-white to white pages means somebody took care of this. I mean, unfortunately, because it was in a binder and you could see, now back in the days, you could buy guns. I mean, they're BB guns, but those aren't on any advertisements now. As you could see, I paid $564.91 to get Batman number 9, even though it is trimmed a little bit and the staples were removed. I'll take it. All right. Number 13. Another Golden Age book. If you watched my video of the top 30, you'll see I had another one of these, but a different number. This one's a little bit, I guess you can say newer, because it came out a couple of months later. But to me, this one is gorgeous. It has a detached cover. If this cover was not detached, this book would have probably been a 7 to an 8. And this is a book from 1942. Submariner issue number 6. It's another book I just randomly bought a couple of years back because it's just, you can't go wrong with Alex Schomburg covers. I think I have at least 3 Alex Schomburg covers. I won't tell you what the other book was that's better than this one. So go watch the top 30 and you'll see it. But this came back a 4.0 from 1942. And again, and just look at the back. Look how beautiful that is. The only reason it only got a 4.0 is because the cover's detached, and that's the highest you can get with a detached cover. This book would have easily been a 7 or an 8 if it didn't have a detached cover. But I spent $499.95 for Submariner issue number 6 with an Alex Schomburg cover, off-white to white pages. I mean, if you don't own a Golden Age book, get one. There's just something about it that just makes it amazing. All right, this is one of those things where low grade is better than no grade. I'm still happy to own this first appearance of the book. Tales to Astonish, number 27. First appearance of the Ant-Man. Only a 0.5. Definitely looks like it could be improved with a pressing if I pulled out all this, because it looks like it's a wrinkled mess. They said it wasn't even worth pressing. But the thing that I have a problem with is that they said that 70% of the front cover is missing. I may crack this one out and get redone. They said 70% of the front cover is missing. Well, this is the only part that's missing. That's not 70%. I think they should have said 70% of the cover is still there and 30% of the cover is missing. So I actually might crack this open and get it redone. Because as you can see, this is a wrinkled mess. I can pull those out and that can be pressed. Now, it may go up to a 1 or a 1.5, but that's still better than a 0.5. Because look at it. Does it look like 70% of the cover is missing? From here to here, all the way up, is still there. So I think I'm going to crack this one open. But I spent $620 on this book. But still, first appearance of Ant-Man. You know, it's gone down, especially since the last Ant-Man movie. But like I said, if I get that pressed and dry cleaned and get it to a little bit lower, higher of a grade, even if it's a 0.5 higher, that just makes it that much more valuable. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So here is number 11. This is a person where they had a price for this book of about $900 to $1,000. I did a lower offer and they said no. And I said, thank you for taking the time. Because I remember this conversation. I wrote them back. I wasn't nasty. I wasn't trying to underscore them with the bids. I made a certain bid and I said, when they said no, they actually sent me a message and respectfully said they can't do it for that price. And I said, I wrote them back. And this is back in like 2018. I bought this book, or 2019, one of the two. And I said, I completely understand. Unfortunately, that amount is all I can afford. But I do wish you great success with the sale. I hope you sell it for all the money you're looking for. Thank you for the nice message. Have a great day. And about an hour later, I get a message and says, you know what? You're one of the nicest people that ever responded to me on eBay. I'm going to honor your bid. So if you want it, I'll accept it. And he said, just resend the offer and he'll accept it. And they actually did. Well, I don't know if it was a him or a her. That's eBay. But to me, I can't afford the first appearance. I'd love to get it via a trade, but this is the next best thing. This is showcase number 8, but it does have some significance. This is the second appearance of Barry Allen as the Silver Age Flash, because of course showcase number 4 is his first appearance. But good luck getting a coverless version of that book for under $2,000-$3,000. But this is also the first appearance of Captain Cold. So that's a significant, like, B-level villain in DC, I would argue. I mean, correct me if you're a DC fan, if you think he's an A-lister or below a B. But I think that's fair to say that Captain Cold is about a B-listed villain. He's definitely known. Lower grade, I bought this raw, 2.0. But like I said, he wanted about $1,000 to $1,200. He ended up accepting my offer of $638.09. Now, of course, that's not the exact amount that he agreed to. That's with taxes and shipping. It does have a detached cover, but it does say second appearance of Silver Age Flash, origin and first appearance of Captain Cold. So to me, that's a great book to have in your collection. Next best thing to, Showcase 4, which I would love to own, but I guess, unless I can do a trade or I win the lottery or there's somebody that's selling one at a garage sale that doesn't know what it is, uh, it'll be challenging to get it. I'm not going to say I can't get it because I just don't have that attitude. All right, we are now in the top 10. And again, if you want to critique my AI art, excuse me, by all means, please do. If you want to join my Patreon and try a chance of a giveaway and have your name up on every video, go to patreon.com/we love comics. So far, if you are a power viewer and you've watched so far the whole thing, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it Memorex, let me know if you know what that means. Put in the comment section that you are a power viewer. Ultra power viewers are people that watch videos from beginning to end. So make yourself known, be proud, and put that in the comment section. All right. Number 10. Another Fantastic Four book. This is a book I wanted for the longest of times. I do not have the price on it because I actually did try and sell it on an auction, but I know I paid only about between $200 and $300 for this book. It's gone down because of the movie, but still, you can't go wrong with this. Fantastic Four number 4. First Silver Age appearance of the Submariner since the Golden Age. Low grade 1.5, but still off-white to white pages. They do say it is the first Silver Age appearance of the Submariner. I mean, technically since the Golden Age, but I guess that's to be understood with the first Silver Age appearance. Multiple pieces of tape on the cover and interior pages, but that does not make it restored. The tape has browned the living daylights out of the comic. That's why it got such a low grade, but it is complete, not restored, not trimmed, not anything like that. I'll take a 1.5, but like I said, I paid between $200 and $300 for that book. Number 9. Another Golden Age beauty. I was actually surprised. I don't have the price on it because this is another book I tried to sell in the auctions. I was surprised it got such a low grade. But it's because of the spine split that goes from the center all the way down. But I even still think this book should be higher than a 2.0. Let me know if you think I should actually regrade this at some point. But this is Captain America number 65 from 1948. Now, here's something many people don't know about. This only has one staple in it. It was supposed to be because after World War II, they didn't have a lot of metals to use, so they were actually, instead of using 2 staples on comic books, they were using 1 staple. So this was January of 1948, creamed off-white pages. It does have a spine split from basically the center, right below the staple, all the way down. But I mean, look at this cover from a book from 1948. And look at the back. So there's nothing missing. There's no tears. I really think this deserves better than a 2.0. Let me ask you, if you think this book, do you think it's warranted at a 2.0 just because of the spine split? It's the split all the way from the center down. Do you think that warrants a 2.0? So again, look at the corners. Look at the edges. This is a book that's getting closer to 100 years old. 20 years from now, well, 23 years from now, this is a 100-year-old book. And look how beautiful it is. Does that spine split from half of the book warrant the 2.0, or do you think this should be regraded? I'd love to hear your opinions. But this also has significance in the sense of this was considered controversial back in the days, where Captain America basically biatch slaps Bucky. But love this cover. I thought it was an Alex Schumacher, but it's not. All right. Number 8. I have several copies of this book. This is Werewolf by Night, number 32, first appearance of Moon Knight. 6.0. I bought it already graded, off-white to white pages. Value is going down, but I think I'm still doing well on this one, and I definitely see this having more up potential. But I paid $1,016.50. Absolutely love the colors of this book. Purples absolutely pop, especially with contrast with the yellow, with the red trim around the name Werewolf. Definitely helps stand it out. Amazing cover. I really like the TV show, even though it did have some of the DEI stuff in it. Off-white to white pages, 6.5. I got another one for like about $100 or so cheaper. When the price goes down, that's when you pick them up. This is my highest grade Golden Age book that I own. This, what issue is this? This is Superman issue number 25. So a very early Superman issue. It's light tan to off-white pages from 1943. It's when Clark Kent joins the Army. I bought this already graded. It is a 7.0 Superman number 25. Gorgeous, gorgeous cover. I bought this back when eBay was giving eBay bucks. Remember that? Back in the days when you can get 4 times the amount when they allowed them for collectibles. I have so many comics that I got either for free or close to free. Like one of my giant size X-Men number ones, I paid $0 for because I used my eBay bucks. Unfortunately, I don't have that anymore. I mean, I've literally lost probably thousands and thousands of dollars worth of eBay bucks because they stopped doing it. Very disappointing. But with this one, I paid $888 after using whatever amount of eBay bucks I had at the time. I didn't write down what it would have been for the total. I think it was 1,000, and I had like 200 and something dollars in eBay bucks. But $888 for a 7.0 Superman issue number 25. Can't complain with that. I mean, I could. Number 6, but why would I? More DC goodness. I have, I believe, 2 copies of this book. I do. Another DC book. We got Action Comics number 252. First appearance of Supergirl. Great cover. Absolutely iconic character. Graded a 2.5. I bought it raw with creamed off-white pages. It's the origin and first appearance of Supergirl. You can see the back. Bought this around 2017, 2018. Paid $596.50 for this book. To me, that's a no-brainer. All right, we are in the top 5, so hopefully you guys are enjoying this. And like I said, if you haven't seen my top 30, go check it out. I did the video yesterday. It's only got like 250 views. So I have supposedly 10,000 subscribers. So a lot of my subscribers aren't watching my stuff anymore, which is fine. People like the controversial videos that people are putting out. I'm just not going to turn this into a TikTok channel. And I'm just going to tell you the prices, the significance, and give my advice. It's not going to be anything majorly spectacular, but it'll be what you want to hear, what you need to hear, and not what you want to hear. If you want what you want to hear, there's plenty of comic book community channels that are going to tell you all the things you want to hear, and they rake in the dough while you're sitting there wondering why your collection isn't growing. But top 5. Another DC book. I cannot believe that DC has not used this villain in the DCU yet. I love what they did in the video game, and if you know what video game I'm talking about when you show the book, put it in the comment section, because that was a great storyline, and it was actually better than the game itself, the storyline. This is Action Comics 242. I have 3 copies of this book. First appearance of Brainiac. I love this. I always love purple colors. But with the colors that he is, with the green, and I guess it's a pink, green and pink, interesting color for somebody that's supposed to be so smart. Just really stands out against the purple background. I bought this already graded from CGC as a 2.0 on eBay. With shipping and handling and taxes, I paid $670 for this book. Again, if you know what video game Brainiac started in the DC universe, put it in the comments section. Now, if you've played the game, let me know what you thought about it. I never owned the game, but I watched the cutscenes where it's basically a movie. They should make a movie out of the cutscenes of that video game, especially the first one. Just a tremendous story. And how they haven't used Brainiac in a movie is just beyond me insane. Next up, another book that I bought basically for a steal back in around 2019-ish. It was a buy it now. No, this was an auction. I'm sorry. And I could not believe I won it for what I won it for. Low grade, but like I say, low grade is better than no grade. So number 4, Amazing Spider-Man issue number 2. So this is my earliest complete Spider-Man copy issue. I do own Amazing Spider-Man number 1, but if you want to know about that one, that's in my top 30, and rightfully so, it belongs to be there. But this is a 1.5. I bought it raw. You could see it's got some damage to it, but of course that's why it's a 1.5. I mean, the back looks pretty darn good, but a lot of it is along as you could see, there's chips missing in the edges, pretty much for the most part on the spine. And then, of course, you can see there's chipping on the top. I paid only $335 for this book. Go look up what a 1.5 goes for. And even though the prices have gone down since 2021, 2022, I could still make money on this because it's all about just so many people buy books and they'll pay any price just so they can make a video. I'm not buying a comic unless I can get it for a deal. So many comic book video people out there. And this is why I believe one of the reasons why most channels will never tell you the price that they paid. You ever notice that most channels, when they show their key comics, they always say, I got it for a good price, and then not mention what that good price is? I think there are 2 reasons. The second reason, I think, is because of the fact that they don't want people to know that they probably paid full price of the value of it for the time, or paid more than that just so they can say, oh, look at the video, the comic book I have to put on a video. And I think the number 1 reason and the most important reason why because most channels are guys and a lot of them are married. And I think the main reason why they don't want to mention the prices is they don't want their spouses to know how much money they're spending on comic books. My wife is a subscriber to my channel. As a matter of fact, she's commented several times on videos. I won't say who it is, but she knows what I pay for them because I don't hide it. But she also knows my comic books are the reason how I was able to buy this house cash moving from New York to Florida. If it wasn't for the comic books, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So she knows, like, she's seen the amount of money I've made selling these in the auctions. So she knows this is a business for me where I could literally work once every 6 months, have enough money to pay bills and take care of the stray cats that I take care of, and not have to be in a 9 to 5 job where I am out of the house 12 hours a day, 60 hours a week, and I can spend time with the family and being with my wife. She loves that. But you got to be honest. But when somebody says there's a deal, well, tell us what the deal is. Otherwise, how do we know it's really a deal? Just because you said so? And that's why I did a video the other day showing prices of some books, because people found it hard to believe that, for example, I bought Fantastic Four number 52 about this year, as a matter of fact, for $69. I showed it on eBay. I showed where I bought it and won it for $69. Because, as they say, if you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. So that's that. All right. 3 books left. Number 3. Absolutely love this cover. It is a DC book. I think I got this for as close as a steal as you can get. Off-white to white pages. Justice League of America number 1. I do believe I have one other copy of this. I think it's either a 1.5 or a 1.8 CBCS book. So yeah, I do. I have another copy of this, and I actually paid more than I paid for this one. and this is a 3.0. I bought this one raw. So it pays to buy raw books, but make sure you look at them. You know, if a person only shows one or two pictures, ask for more if you have to. But I knew this was going to be, it wasn't going to be a major upgrade in the grades. I didn't think this was going to be a 7 or 8, but I definitely knew it wasn't going to be like a 1 or a 2. 3.0 with off-white pages. No, it's not the first appearance of a Justice League of America, but it is the first issue of Justice League of America, and I love this cover. Of course, they don't have all of the characters. They don't have Batman on here, which is surprising, but hey, what are you going to do? Superman isn't on here either. Well, actually, if you consider the chess pieces, then they actually are, because they're Superman and Batman. But I paid $276.25. And again, that is buying it raw, paying the shipping and handling and taxes, and then the grading fees to get this done. So under $300 for a 3.0 Justice League #1. Two more to go, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you appreciate this, and I hope you'll watch my top 30, and I hope you guys will take time to leave comments once the video uploads, because it does help the channel. Like I said, out of my 10,000 subscribers, only about 200 or 300 people actually watch my videos. So I could use any help that I can get. Splash Page Comic says, I just think it's nobody's business what I pay for books. Nothing wrong with that. I'm talking about the people, and shout out to Splash Page, Mr. White Gloves. I'm talking about those that say, well, I got a great deal. Well, you can't tell people you got a great deal and not tell people what the great deal is. So yeah, Splash Page, I can totally respect that. You're saying, I just don't think it's anybody's business. But you're not making videos saying, oh, I look at this price, I got it at such a great deal. And then not say what the great deal is. You're just saying, here's my book and how much you love it. And, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But I'm talking about so many channels that are trying to brag to you, saying how brag to people saying, oh yeah, I got such a great deal on this book. And then they don't tell you what the great deal is. It's like, well, how do we know it was a great deal? Just because you said it? So I guess that would be a third reason that it's nobody's business. But like I said, Splash Page, you don't go around telling everybody, oh, you got such great deals on these things, trying to rub it in people's faces and then not say anything. You talk about the books and your passion for them, and there's no reason for you to share the price, which I can respect that. All right, 2 books left. Another book I bought raw. I bought from this seller like 7 or 8 books, and I still have the videos up because I got 4 of them in one box. And this person had buy it nows for I think this book was like 600. I did an offer of 150, and every offer that I made on the books, they agreed and said yes to. So I paid $150 for this book. It was listed, I remember, for about $500 to $600. And a bunch of key books, and there was some that I was so mad that I missed on because they were happening so fast. He was doing separate listings that while I was doing a deal on one, somebody else was buying another. And there were books even better than this one that went before I got a chance to even make an offer. So this is Fantastic Four #12. I think I have a second copy. I am not sure. But this is the first time the Hulk and the Thing meet. I don't know if they're going to have the Hulk in the Fantastic Four movie or maybe in a future movie, but I would love to see this scene. And that would absolutely increase the value of this book. Respectable grade, 4.0 for the first meeting ever of the Fantastic Four, the Thing, and the Hulk, especially. As a matter of fact, other books to get is Fantastic Four 25 and 26. It's either 24 and 25 or 25 and 26, where the Hulk battles the Thing, and it's an epic 2-part series. That's another great book to get, but this was the first time it happened. I bought this raw. Like I said, this person was selling it for like $500 or $600 with the best offer, and I did a best offer of 150, and they approved. So that is exactly what I paid for it, $150. Last but not least, this to me is like a no-brainer in collections. I don't have the price on it because I think at one point I was trying to sell it in an auction. I have about 2 or 3 copies of this book. It was one of the books that I had when I was a kid that got stolen because a bunch of my comics got stolen at one point. Major key books, major high grade books. I mean, I had a Conan #1 that would have easily been a 9.8 that was stolen from me. And just imagine what the price of that book. I mean, that book was perfect. This was one of the books that got stolen from me, and that book probably would have been at least an 8 or a 9. I had a lot of high grade Silver Age and Bronze Age key first appearances that got stolen from me, and it was sad when it happened, but you can't do anything about the past. But I was able to acquire a couple of books back, not in the same grade, and definitely not for the same price I paid. But hey, low grade is better than no grade. So the last book that did not make my top 30 is Avengers #4, the first reappearance of Captain America since the Golden Age. Absolutely love this cover. It's a 4.5 off-white to white pages. Unfortunately, I don't know what the price is because I took it off because I was trying to sell it in an auction. I'd have to go back to some of my old videos to find out because I always reveal the prices of every book, so it's just a matter of going through them. But I mean, that is such an iconic cover. I mean, the Avengers was cool, but it got even cooler when Captain America joined the Avengers. It just something, it made the Avengers go from ordinary to extraordinary. And that's why I couldn't believe that they had everybody leave. Because remember, they talk about Hulk 3 is when Hulk leaves. It's actually issue #2. Because when I was a kid, I had issue #2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and I was reading them. And the Hulk actually leaves in issue 2. So I don't know why they would always say the Hulk left in issue 3, because he left in issue 2. But at that point, and they still had Hulk on the cover because they didn't really know what to do with Hulk back then. Because he was kind of like sometimes he's like kind of like the Submariner. In the beginning days, he was kind of like the hero some days and the villain other days. They didn't really know what to do with him. So he was kind of the villain in a sense. On issue 2, they got into a fight and he decided to walk away at the end. But I mean, to me, having Captain America, it just fits with the Avengers. And this is such an iconic Jack Kirby cover. You can't go wrong. So I wish I had the price for it, but I do not. I'll have to look it up someday. But those are the 40 books that did not make my top 30. Many of those books, I would just hope that there would be some people out there that might have these in their top 20 or top 30. Who knows? But I thought that would be an interesting video topic to do. Hopefully you will have enjoyed it. And if you did, you can hit the thumbs up. I will be going through the comments, but let's pick today's surprise subscriber shout out. Like I said, you don't have to be a subscriber unless you want to hit subscribe. But if you leave at least one chat in the live chat, I always pick somebody in there. So let's go with, we're going to go with, oh, that's actually funny. I just clicked on this person. Liu Xinwan. It's Lu ZHI. I don't know if that's pronounced Chi or Z. One, and he actually says, "Can I get a shout out?" So yes, you can. It's funny. I didn't even see that until after. I just randomly stopped. So Lu Chi Wen asked for a shout out. So you're one of today's surprise subscriber shout outs. And then we're gonna click on. Let's see. The past returns. You are also today's surprise subscriber shout out. So what do those entail? Well, when this video uploads, you can leave comments in the comment section. And I hope you will all do that because it's kind. It helps my channel's algorithm and it gives me something to do. I love reading people's comments. And as you see, I respond to every single one of them. But the surprise subscriber shoutouts get a little extra bonus. If you have a YouTube channel, you could post a link to your YouTube channel or a specific YouTube video in the comment section. If you don't have a YouTube channel or you'd prefer to do a link to one of your social networks like Instagram or Facebook or whatever have you, you can do a link to those instead. Or if you sell anything on Etsy, Amazon, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or anything like that, and you'd rather promote one of your auctions or one of your sales, you can do a link instead. I'll leave that up to you, which one of the three you would prefer. It does not have to be comic book related, but it will do best if it is comic book related because this is a comic book channel. But as long as what you're selling or what you're talking about is at least friendly for all audiences, I have no problem promoting it. So if you have an Instagram page that talks about baseball cards, if you have a YouTube channel that talks about, you know, knitting sweaters, or if you sell, crystals on eBay, those are suitable for all audiences, so I have no problem sharing it. I am smarter than the average troll, so all links ever posted in my comment section automatically go to the spam. I had recently some bots putting some new comments about some like Bitcoin ripoff thing, and they used certain words that were allowed. I've already fixed that so it can't happen again because I'm much smarter than these people. And once they post something, I know a way that I can actually prevent it from ever happening again. So any links that are posted automatically go to spam so I can verify them. Once I verify they are not going to take anyone there that clicks on them to anywhere inappropriate, and it's what the people say they are, I will approve them and you'll see them in the comments section. If you see a link in the comments section, it means it was approved and it will take you to somewhere that it says. Now, with the surprise subscriber shoutouts, don't just post a link. Tell everybody who you are. Introduce yourself. Tell everybody what they'll be clicking on. Give people an incentive to why they should click on your link. If you just post a link, don't be surprised nobody does it. So the more you communicate, the better off people will be. So let's give a shout out to our two shout outs. I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget that I put in the live chat that if you are ordering any of my mystery boxes, which by the way, if you order any of my mystery boxes before the end of this month, which is November of 2024 at this particular moment, if you're watching this later on and not live, if you order one of my mystery boxes between now and the end of November of 2024, and you mention that you want an extra book included, you will get 21 books instead of 20 books, regardless of the package level. So whether it's the basic package for $25 or the $5,000 package, if you request a free book, I will send you a free book for free included in your purchase. So just put that in the section. If you can't do it for some reason or you forget, just email me after you purchase it at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com and just let me know about the offer, and I will be more than happy to honor it. It's my way of saying thank you to those who watch my videos and actually help purchase things, which help pay for my bills and help me take care of those stray cats. So with that being said, if you want to critique on my AI art, once again, please do. If you want to be one of the people that you see on the screen, and join my Patreon and support my channel, just go to patreon.com/WeLoveComics. Once we get to 20 paid members, there are giveaways that I'm trying to give away. So if we can get up to 20 paid members, I'll start doing the giveaways. There is no minimum to join to be able to enter the contest. Once we get to 20, you could do the minimum, which is $2, because it takes at least $2 to join anybody's Patreon account, but you'll get one entry for every $2 you put in. So the more you contribute, the more chances you'll get at the entry levels. So that's that. So let's see if we can get some comics traded. Look at those books. You can pause it if you want. These are books that I'm really loving to want to acquire. Can't afford them as of now to be able to buy them for cash. And trade would be awesome. So any of the books you've seen in any of these videos, anything you've seen on the shelves that even may not be comic related, if you think that'll make a deal with the trade, by all means, please contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com and let's make that happen. So thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Really hope you guys will take the time to leave some comments once this video uploads. And say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. It is not you. It is not I. It is We Love Comics. Thank you to everybody in the live chat. Thanks for everybody watching when they watch it later on. And don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. I'll see you next video.